This is the story of a young boy named Komi, who claims to be quite popular during elementary school, as girls literally fought over him for attention. But things turn rough during middle school when everyone except him grows like bamboo shoots and he feels left out. His story seems like a popular Netflix shop suddenly getting cancelled. Poor Komi has no hopes for his senior years due to his small physique. He frantically assures himself that probably he is a late bloomer. However, he doesn't realize that destination has a surprise in store for him. A young girl named Asumi Obinata takes immense interest in him despite being completely opposite to him. She is towering and has a generous heart. He thinks that she has a radiant smile like a sunflower. Now she has a lot of qualities, but one very prominent thing is her being athletic, while Komi's athleticism is mainly limited to running away from his insecurities. For instance, one day he warns her from stepping on dog poo, so she instantly twirls herself and takes a graceful leap, followed by a somersault. Once landing on a safe spot, she heaves a sigh of relief and then dashes towards him glad for a close call. Her move would have made a gymnast jealous, while he was still wondering how to avoid stepping on Legos. She explains with an embarrassed chuckle that she lost her wit for a moment. But Komi is too awed by her flustered look as he thinks she looks quite adorable. His heart skips a beat when she pushes a hair strand behind her ears with a flushed smile. She appears to stand out in the lot due to her towering height, and Komi is adamant about protecting her big, beautiful smile. Komi finds her incredibly attractive, but doubts she even realizes her own popularity. When she shyly admits it's her first time hooking up with someone, his brain short-circuits like he's been struck by an emotional lightning bolt. This is because the other boys in their class find her height a threat to their masculinity despite her good looks. A frustrated Komi considers those guys foolish for rejecting a gem like Asumi since they prefer petite girls like Kawaii, so getting intimidated is their favorite hobby apart from whispering about girls. So when they boorishly refer to as a giant, a fuming Komi confronts them. He shoots them with a surprising question about what they fancy in chihuahuas. A baffled lad points out that they are small with big watery eyes, and for this reason they are quite huggable. Thank goodness Komi didn't receive a punch for asking such a ridiculous question. Next, Komi wants to know their opinion about golden retrievers. One of them mentions having one as a pet, and also squeals in delight about their fluffiness and friendliness. The other guys immediately develop an interest in petting that big and cute canine. So Komi the Great solves the biggest riddle of the time: girls and dogs go together. Komi sighs in relief since he is successful in proving his point about Asumi's big stature. He leaves those loonies in a state of confusion and vows again about protecting that dainty bright smile, so Komi's now an official bodyguard with less muscle and more awkwardness. But for obvious reasons, both Komi and Azumi haven't declared their relationship in the open since they know they both will be teased about their stature difference. Komi has an acute inferiority complex that because of him even Azumi will feel uncomfortable, and they will become the laughingstock of the whole school. He fears his love life will be trending on TikTok as a meme, so he decides to keep things low-key now. On the same day, when school ends, Komi sends a message to Azumi inquiring whether she is interested in walking home. When she affirms, they decide to meet at their usual spot. So it is usual that they meet at a place that is far from the school. Now this seems like a secret game of hide and seek. If they want to walk home together, they usually take alternate routes in order to avoid nosy clashes. They even have a secret signal to acknowledge each other. When Komi passes in front of her, he fakes out a cough, and then throws out a quick wave to her. Azumi repeats the gestures with a flushed face of course. What a cool way to signal for having allergies. And when she does that, Komi rides high with a big smirk on his face as if he has conquered Mount Everest in a day. So if smiles were a currency, he would have been a billionaire by now. It's quite normal for couples to make out in public in the class. One such display is being shamelessly shown in the class in front of Komi and his friend. At first, his friend expresses his immense dislike for such flamboyant couples and predicts that they eventually break up. Am I smelling sour grapes here? Unable to hold up longer, that boy drops his head down in despair, wishing desperately for a cute girlfriend. Komi observes the faces of those two lovebirds so dangerously close to each other, and instantly Azumi's face flashes in his mind, and here goes his full-on romantic dream mode. He wonders whether two oddballs can come this close. Soon he pictures himself cuddling Azumi. Completely oblivious to his surroundings, Komi's mouth begins to drool uncontrollably. His friend shakes him out of the la-la land, and a frenzied Komi admits that he is right. The friend is puzzled because he claims that he didn't say anything before to get his acknowledgement. Komi's brain is still processing what just happened, like a computer trying to update during a power outage. The friend makes a lousy suggestion of playing rock, paper, and scissors, and that the loser will end up buying drinks. Komi flatly refuses, to his friend's amazement. He says he's saving up for something important but doesn't mention his plan to go out with Azumi someday, date or not. After all, he'll be a notorious finance minister one day. When his friend sulks, Komi reminds him that if he can afford drinks, he can repay the lunch Komi covered when he forgot his. Instantly, his friend gets a faraway look, pretending to rack his brain as if his memory is full of holes, just like Swiss cheese. His non-serious reaction instantly fires up Komi, who mentions that people who are lavish with their money aren't popular. The friend snaps back since that is the last thing he wants to hear from Komi. A smug expression covers his face when he brags about having a girlfriend in middle school. The guy is so annoying that out of frustration, he mumbles about having a girlfriend. Run. A world war has started on past girlfriends. His friend forces him to oust out loudly, so Komi announces loudly about having a girlfriend. Careful, you'll start the most awkward rumor of the century. His blaring declaration startles Azumi, who is sitting at a distance with her friend. His friend teases him for bluffing, and that ignites Komi further since he bellows at the top of his lungs about having a massively cute girlfriend. Everyone around him is in a stupor, and instantly Komi regrets his foolish impulsiveness. He is quite unaware that his wild declaration has made Azumi's heart thump violently. When his friend forces him to blurt out the name of that mystery girl, Komi slips out that she is from his elementary school. If only he could rewind the last 5 minutes of his life, like a bad reality show that he accidentally starred in. His friend bursts into a fit of laughter when out of the blue, Azumi's friend condemns them for being so childish, bragging about past girlfriends. Komi's friend roughly tells her to shut up. This whole conversation has turned into a circus, one where Komi's the confused clown. Komi freaks out when he sees a distressed Azumi sitting behind her since earlier he was not aware of her presence. Yep, he is blinded by his big fat temper. Also how he longs to be as tall as her so that he can openly declare the relationship in public without appearing as the biggest joke of the century. Well, there is always a big if. Hazumi's friend is steadfast on the point of boys being big goofballs. However, she is astonished to see a jittery Azumi sweating hard with her heart racing fast and furious. As they step outside, rain pours down, forcing them to dash for shelter. Komi groans. He didn't bring an umbrella, trusting the forecast. His life is an unscripted comedy. He wonders if Azumi has a folding one, picturing a cozy rom-com moment under it, only to remember he's stuck in the comedy, not the romance. Their dull uniforms offer no excitement, so sharing an umbrella is the only highlight. But as the shorter one, he can't hold it without her head sticking out comically. Azumi would have to take charge, if only step stools came as shoes. A pang of gloom fuels his inferiority complex. Then, with a cheerful smile, Azumi asks if he wants to be closer, only to pull out a raincoat twice her size. Komi stares, dumbfounded. Who knew raincoats came in hotel suite size? Azumi invites Komi to share her oversized raincoat, noticing his confusion. She explains an umbrella doesn't cover her completely, but Komi's brain turns to scrambled eggs. How is sharing a raincoat normal? She grins, hoping tiny Komi can fit inside. Her dazzling smile makes his heart race as alarms blare in his head. They've never even held hands, and now he's supposed to huddle up with her? His imagination spins faster than a washing machine, making him sweat. Abashed, he suggests waiting for the rain to stop, but the downpour only worsens. Even the weather mocks him. Deciding to just soak himself, he's stunned when Azumi tosses him the raincoat, insisting he wear it while she dashes home. Komi panics. Someone bring allergies to sate his masculinity. Then she hesitantly confesses she wanted to get cozy because she considers herself his girlfriend. Clingy? The lad has struck gold. Electrified, Komi realizes how adorable she is, though deep down, even he has plans. His mind flips from rom-com mode to wait, I'm still figuring out how to hold hands mode. Finally, he gives in, squeezing into the raincoat with her, just like a classic Japanese gag. Azumi giggles in sheer embarrassment as she buttons it around him. Now Komi looks like a human-sized burrito. Both blush furiously, overwhelmed by the emotional surge. They avoid the rain but not the heat. Kon arrives home drenched in sweat, basically a walking sauna. The next day, disaster strikes. A panicked student claims she saw a phantom with tentacle-like legs, turning their bizarre raincoat adventure into an urban legend. Komi's life just went viral, for all the wrong reasons. It is one of those grueling days when Komi has a board duty, and the poor lad has to stretch himself like a rubber band to wipe off the topmost part of the board. Like a breeze in the desert, Azumi appears and helps him wipe off the board. He expresses his gratitude, and then she flashes her coy, flushed smile, and as usual, his heart skips on the same beat, acknowledging her beauty. Later, when they are walking together, he trips unconsciously only to be supported by her powerful arms, and the role reversal begins. Glad that he is saved, Azumi smiles in relief, acting out the role of a dame in shining armor, safely holding her dude in distress. Then one day, while having a study session in a local park, the duo is chattering away merrily. As kids play football nearby, a ball suddenly hurtles toward Komi. Before it can smack his head, Azumi swiftly catches it. Maybe he should start wearing a helmet. The guy's a walking accident. She scolds the kids for playing so recklessly. Meanwhile, Komi is feeling lowly because instead of being her knight in shining armor, he himself has turned into a damsel in distress. At the same time, even Azumi is all jittery, clicking her pen aimlessly. Nevertheless, Komi finds her more and more attractive, so acting all jittery is some sort of new secret love language. She exclaims that the whole incident was really scary, but by the looks of it, Komi seems more upset than terrorized. Later, Azumi tries to Google up the ideal behaviors men want in their women, Googling how to be worthwhile to a lady. She plops on the bed in distress, knowing that men are usually turned on by timid women who stir up their protective instinct, and also they love those women who want to get spoiled. A dejected Azumi knows that she is far from all that mushy crap, but men come in all shapes, sizes, and protective instincts, like Komi having nil. Earlier, at the park, she felt some distance between them. Azumi learns that an upturned gaze flatters the opposite sex, but at her towering height, it's impossible. In her case, love is blind, so why stress over gazes? Still, she worries Komi will lose interest in her. Rolling on her bed, she wonders if his feelings will fade. Then she discovers that leaning on his shoulder, soft touches, and sleeve tugs can also grab his attention. Alert! Azumi's new book is about to drop, How to Attract Quirky Men. The next day, the duo is sitting on the park bench again, engaged in idle chatter. Out of a sudden, Azumi gives him a side glance and then gently leans over his shoulder with closed eyes. She doesn't realize that at the same time, Komi is getting up, and the Leaning Tower of Pisa slams on the bench with a sickening sound. Komi is accident-prone. He should carry a big label. A startled Komi looks behind since he had gotten up to pick up a candy wrapper. He wonders whether Azumi is feeling okay, and a deadpan Azumi with a pasted smile leaning on her own arm assures him that she is completely fine. Her smile deepens as she explains that she was just practicing her yukimi, an exercise to improve one's reflexes. Komi chuckles uncertainly, while she sheepishly uprights herself. Komi's brain, wait, is yukimi some kind of secret ninja technique? He offers her his hand and decides to head home, although he claims that he doesn't want to. He coyly wonders whether he can call her that night. With twinkling eyes, she accepts his hand and affirms. Later, Komi notices that sometimes Azumi starts practicing yukimi a lot, which becomes quite confusing for him. So is yukimi some secret code for I want to get closer to you? Later, she stoops down to pick up an eraser, and then she notices Komi standing in front of her, having his back toward her. She assumes that it belongs to him, so she slowly trudges toward him and focuses on him completely while having a firm grip on the eraser. So is she planning to hit with that eraser? She reaches out toward his sleeve, intending to give it a gentle tug. However, that gentle pull becomes so fierce that it nearly chugs him from the ground, snapping open his shirt. The poor lad nearly has a heart attack, unable to figure out his current situation. Was he struck by a hurricane or hit by a volcano? To his dismay, Azumi smiles while squinting nervously, handing out the eraser. The duo becomes a laughingstocking of the moment, and a worn-out Komi tries to recover from that shock. On their way home, Azumi frantically apologizes for pouncing on him, insisting she didn't mean to. She even offers to fix his shirt, but he assures her it's fine. Why worry? He still struggles to understand her at times, but finds her both cute and surprisingly skillful. Later, unexpectedly, she trips on the stairs and stumbles forward, but this time Komi is adamant about blocking her fall. Finally, he is saving her. Wait, no, he is falling too. In short, they are a disaster waiting to happen. Instead, even he stumbles over trying to catch the somersaulting Azumi in a desperate attempt. However, the ever-graceful Azumi lands on her 2 feet on the ground, while Komi slams on her back, neatly making the whole act no less than an amusing circus acrobat performance. In no time, their on-the-spur performance gains a sudden audience clapping heartily. To his misery, people laughingly term him as a little monkey hanging on Azumi's back. Komi's pride just left the building. And now he's a little monkey in a crowd's eyes. His ego is terribly hurt despite being called cute. He muses that one day he will become a big ape. Meanwhile, Azumi is all smiles and stars thinking how bravely he tried to save her. Komi reminds her that in the end, he needed her help instead of saving her, but Azumi is on cloud 9. An embarrassed Komi proclaims that she doesn't need to be considerate, but she insists that she is genuinely happy. He tries hard to force a smile because even though she is very nice and kind, one cannot ignore the fact that he went through an emotional roller coaster ride toward depression earlier. While he can't be blamed, he had gone from hero to zero, very exhausting for him. He is all gloomy thinking that he is no good for her. She notices his blues and tries to make him feel better about how she uses her giant stature to help others. Suddenly she apologizes to him. Komi is like, wait, I should be the one apologizing for making us both look like clowns in front of an audience. Shocked, he ponders that he should be the one expressing gratitude to her for saving him again. He blurts out abashedly that it is natural for one to help a girl they like. Even after opening out his heart a little, he bites his tongue thinking he might have gone too far again. In a sudden of events, she covers her eyes and then blurts out the 3 magic words, I love you, to him. Komi is hit by a massive current that nearly sweeps him away as his ears can't believe what they heard earlier. An anxious Azumi wonders about his well-being, so he assures her that he is just tipsy out of delight. He needs a nap, a long nap. The next day, Komi brings a wholesome lunch packed with delicious karage. On his friend Osaka's inquiry, he explains that his mother packed a special birthday lunch for him. Azumi's ears prick at his revelation, while Osaka promises to give him a birthday hug later. But for Komi, only verbal expression is enough. Yup, creepy touches send electric currents to his body. But he is longing for a passionate embrace from Azumi-san. Osaka asks for a piece of karage, since that remains crispy even after it is cold. At first he is reluctant, but then allows him to have 3 pieces. Osaka is surprised at his generosity, but keeps on munching those juicy pieces of fried meat. But Komi's mind is still lingering on the juicier memory of Azumi confessing her love for him, and that is the real reason behind his chirpy mood that day. Komi is like, if love were a flavor, Azumi's confession would be karage. He is in such a joyful mood that he is even ready to get slammed by Osaka and forgive him. He regrets those moments when he used to condemn lovebirds for being in a euphoric state all the time and wrongfully called them lustful monsters, and now he has turned into a wild beast. He used to be wrathful all the time due to his severe complex about his height. He stares at Osaka goofily exclaiming about the fantastic feeling he is experiencing. Osaka looks at him as if he has grown horns on his head. But Komi is busy spacing out about the angel Azumi blessing the whole earth. Osaka is feeling skeptical about his behavior, thinking about the insane possibility that Komi has fallen for him. We know you both are desperate. But Osaka, hold your horses. Quite later, Komi receives a cute bunny birthday message from Azumi that really makes his day. He wonders what if she wants to walk home with him. Danger alert, Azumi. Someone's emotions just went berserk. As he walks past her in the classroom, both exchange secret glances, and it appears that in times like these, one starts expecting something. For instance, Komi has high expectations about getting a smooch or something from her as a present, but instantly shrugs off those cultured thoughts. Told ya, Azumi, the guy is going nuts. Suddenly he receives a reply from her. With a huge grin he opens it, and to his great dismay, she has refused to accompany him due to something urgent. This is like when one opens a box, and a huge jack-in-the-box knocks you out. Poor Komi regrets having creepy imaginations. His friend notices his long face and probes him. Out of the blue, Komi invites him for a walk home, which takes him by surprise since Osaka knows that Komi is aware of his after-school club activities, and he always takes a bus home. Oh, he is having short-term amnesia. Komi looks thoroughly disappointed, which makes Osaka grow more suspicious about him. The next day, a beaming Azumi surprises him by giving him a birthday present. She modestly states that his acceptance will greatly delight her. Really, such sickeningly sweet humbleness and modesty spikes up suspicions Azumi. Komi is pleasantly shocked and guesses that she might have gone to buy it yesterday when she refused to accompany him. Azumi blushes furiously on being caught. Meanwhile, he is on cloud 9 thinking that Azumi especially went to buy him a present. He is even ready to wear that present on his head. Sheepishly, she mentions that he must not set his hopes too high for the present since it is just ordinary stuff. But for him, It is priceless coming from her. He tries his level best to choose the best words to express his gratitude. But all that comes out from his mouth is "I am too happy," just because he is grinning ear to ear, yet he has to show there is no hamster stuck in his mouth. Still, he manages to blurt out a thank you, and Azumi is slightly disappointed by his non-enthusiastic reaction. A flushed Komi realizes that in his nervousness, he just thanked her twice. He opens the present as soon as he reaches home and discovers 3 pairs of socks. He rustles through them, unable to decide the pair to be worn the next day. "Are you sure you were planning to wear the present on your head?" Soon he picks up the one that seems quite breathable. Komi is a lot surprised to see socks as a present. The next morning he discovers that the socks are quite enormous for his size, but then he recalls the sincerity with which she has presented them. Yes, now you can easily wear them on your head, so he bravely pulls over them, showing his side of sincerity. At school, he decides to quickly change his shoes before anyone notices the twin giants and then plans to flex it to her on the way home, the things people do for love. Alas, as soon as he pulls out his shoes, Azumi comes and greets him, and here comes the Devil Queen. His heart begins to pound furiously, but he thinks this is the right moment for the power show. Soon he turns around and places his socked foot forward. He gives her a thumbs-up sign but forgets to erase the humiliated expression on his face that naturally comes from his heart. Poor Azumi is startled, and immediately Komi realizes that the tube light didn't catch the electric current. He whispers carefully that he is wearing the socks that she presented to him, and they are quite perfect for the summer. An electrified Azumi points out at them, unconsciously drawing everyone's attention toward them. Komi is bewildered, wondering whether he has committed a bouncer. The other schoolmates burst into a fit of laughter at such a comical display. However, Azumi appears visibly shocked, and once again Komi feels like himself in some cheap comedy sitcom. Finally, in the relief of his classroom, he receives a message from Azumi apologizing for the big mix-up, since she accidentally presented him with the socks that were meant for her father, whose birthday is coming up, so she one typical big girl having a pea for the brain. Komi is thoroughly relieved to discover the truth. Next, he glances at Azumi hiding her face in sheer humiliation. He is curious whether she is upset about the trivial matter. As usual, his heart feels heavy for her, and he frantically types something on his phone to make her feel better. Komi is like, "No need to apologize for socks, just never getting shoes." Azumi's phone buzzes suddenly, and she is forced to check it. Her face brightens up as soon as she reads the message. He throws her a quick look and catches her whispering a thank you towards him. Komi is relieved to see her smile and thinks of her as very attractive. Meanwhile, his attention is diverted towards Osaka's bright morning greeting. Azumi reads his message again and again, which assures her he is happy to have anything coming from her end, so Komi will treasure these socks forever, even if they make his feet look like a circus act. However, as a consequence, the schoolmates started calling him Cream Bun. Even during the lecture, he keeps on thinking about her and realizes that he never asked her about her birthday. How could you? Your mind is always buzzing with questionable stuff. He imagines several girly stuff and wonders what she would like to have as a present. He concludes that something wearable will be appropriate, like a necklace, a bracelet, or a lifetime supply of socks. Just imagining those things on her makes his heart thump faster. Next, he thinks a scarf would be more appropriate if her birthday is in winter. But anything wrapped around her neck or wrist signifying his ownership over her sends thrills to his body. The guy literally resembles an electric eel to me right now. He wonders if she will wear the things he presents her. On the way home, he finally probes her about the magic date. She reveals that it is on April 2. Miserably, the imaginary scarf tore off itself along with fantasized jewelry in his head. Why? Is April your no pocket money month? This is because April is the only month when people don't get to celebrate birthdays with others. Poor Komi cannot stop those huge rivers flowing from his eyes, and Azumi assumes that he is upset because her birthday is already long gone. Oh no, he is crying because he is still wearing her socks. Later, Osaka plucks out a piece of lint from his head and hands it to him, though that was quite unnecessary. Another pang of blues strikes him when he realizes that Osaka is tall enough to see the top of his head. He analyzes that he is a bit shorter than Azumi. In his head, he keeps on calculating her height. A quirky idea lurks in his mind about how the world would appear from her point of view. Komi wonders whether he would look like a tiny walking blob to her. Next, he urges Osaka to give him a piggyback ride. A stunned Osaka lashes out at him for suddenly making a bold move. Yes, this time he did go overboard. Komi is a little surprised by his avoidance. Nevertheless, he becomes a monkey again despite Osaka's reservations. He cannot help thinking that Osaka is a real gem, so when his eye level comes slightly above Osaka, he looks around in admiration, pondering that this is how Azumi's high-level viewpoint appears. He definitely needs to see a shrink. Next, he asks Osaka to stroll around a bit, and discovers that the ceiling feels quite close. Down in the hallway, he finds people like ants, so he sees everything except his dignity. He analyzes that the view from the top is clearer, while his eyes concentrate on the information below, just like one standing on a hill or a podium. Unexpectedly, he spots Azumi-san in the hallway and is thoroughly ashamed. Who needs a ladder when you can have cringed moments like this? Her friend frowns in disgust at their childish display. But Komi discovers that he has reached almost the same eye level as that of Azumi. Both girls walk past them, however, Komi's gaze follows Azumi's back. The guy gets so carried away that he loses his balance and his hands release their grip from Osaka's shoulders. To Osaka, it seems as if he has had enough, but he doesn't realize that Komi is about to have a killer fall. So this is what it means, falling for someone. Thankfully, Azumi dashes towards him, once again to prove to be his dame in shining armor. It is an amusing scene with Komi's legs being grabbed by Osaka, while his head is cozily nestled in Azumi's hands. It's a crazy, crazy world. He finally concludes that although the top view was amazing, the current view is by far the best one. Both lovebirds are having the time of their lives, however, it is the sidekicks, Osaka and Azumi's friend, both shocked and exhausted from the whole scenario.